Good morning,
Good
good morning,
morning.
good morning,
Good morning.
good morning. Hey, we made it again, man. It's another Sunday, and you are alive, breathing, talking, and thinking, man. What a blessing, guys. Thank you so much for the crew. Gusto for having us in his channel, man, or brother Osiris. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Agreed. Thank you.
Yeah, good
Hey,
morning, man. We're joined by Aldo, Cruzades of Motivation, Double O, Derek. We'll be joined by Old Dog Vinny shortly. I think here he is. And today we're going to do some good old fashioned burpees. Good morning, Vinny.
Good morning,
Vinny.
Morning,
Vin.
guys. Good morning, everybody. How we doing?
Good.
Still
It's
waking
raining
up.
over there?
What's that?
Is it raining over there?
Yeah. Since yesterday morning, actually.
How you guys feeling?
I don't know
Good.
yet. It's still early here. I'm still waking up.
Yeah, Derek, I'll let you know in a little bit.
Yeah.
Give me some
today,
time.
Today we're doing a little ladders, burpees, one pump up to 10 pumps. We're gonna see how many times we could do that. I think it's
You want me to?
enjoyable.
Good morning.
George. Good
You
morning,
want me to
Paul.
pull out my counter?
The
Do
counter.
it.
We need a clicker. It wouldn't be
Yeah,
the
that's what
same
I'm
without a
saying.
clicker.
Right, bam. Right, bam.
I don't give a click.
There you go. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here, man.
I
Hey,
agree, George. That was a great live.
yeah, that was
Thanks,
great,
Derek.
Vinny. I ain't done with it yet.
Yeah, I'm like an hour in. Go check out Old Dog fitness live that he did last night, especially if you're into Gatorade.
Hey, 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 man, that's the recipe right here, Vinny.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and I encourage everyone to go check out the check out the check out
Yeah.
the live where he gives out the recipe, baby. I've been using this ever since you told me, Vinny, because I get cramps a lot,
Yeah.
and
hmm
you were explaining to me maybe that's one of the reasons because you're deficient on magnesium and
A lot of people are. Magnesium's one of the big ones where you don't even realize it. So yeah, that would be one of the first place you. But the sodium, any of the salts, if you're low on, you could cramp up because of it. So you have to look at that, you know. But like I mentioned, the sodium, because we eat so much processed food and it's loaded with sodium, it's kind of rare that people are going to
Yeah.
be unless you have like kidney issues. If you're far along and you know, blah blah blah. But you're going to get a lot of sodium from your diet. Most people with processed foods. If you're eating a whole food diet, you know, again, the meats, the eggs, the fruits, and the vegetables, where there's not sodium in that. Because I mean, I salt up my food like crazy because I don't eat a lot of processed food. I'm not worried about salt, but they scare you with that. You know, oh, you're going to get a heart attack, and it's just not true. It's not. But yeah, those are important, especially in the summertime. You know, when we're out there working out, and you do sweat a lot. It's always a good idea because it makes you feel better, and you're not using like a pound of salt. It's a half a teaspoon or a teaspoonful of salt, and it definitely makes you feel better. And it's what your body needs. Your body needs sodium. You know, like I mentioned last night, they scare you. Everything that your body needs and that's really good for your body in the end is what they scare you and steer you away from. And they steer you towards the things that you really don't need. So it's kind of crazy. But anyway,
But like you
drink your
said, that's
salt.
the business. That a healthy
Is
person is not valuable.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
what it comes down to. And again, you know, you could go back and forth. Are they evil people? Or is there a master plan? I don't know. But the bottom line is that it's money. They're in business to make money, and that's what they want to do. And at the end of the day, and Derek made a good point because I'm always railing against doctors, and he brought up a good point. But you know, do they do what they do because they know that? And people are non-compliant, right? If you tell people take a pill, they'll take the pill for the most part. But if you tell them to make some other change that's going to be uncomfortable for them, they're not going to do it. They may do it in the short term, but not in the long term. So do they do it that way because they know that that's the way people are? I don't know. I don't know. I can't figure it out. But the bottom line is, it is what it is. The responsibility falls on you. It falls on you to do the right thing for yourself. Educate yourself about these things and take care of yourself. It's not, the doctor is just the guy that you go to and pay for a service, like a plumber or a mechanic. He has no special interest in you. You know what I mean? He's just a guy that you pay. So you have to take care of yourself in the end. Educate yourself as much as possible and do your best to just stay away from them. If you don't if you're healthy and you don't have to deal with them, you're much better off. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Hey, Vin, just so you know, I've had this Gatorade for probably 3 years now, and it's still 90% full.
all right. Derek, I can't tell you. Hey, that's a nice shirt you got on, by the way.
You like this?
I just saw. Yeah. Oh, that is a nice look. I got to get one of those.
You should
I
get
got to get one of those shirts. I used to buy Gatorade by the case. Every color imaginable. You know what I mean? I used to drink it every single day, every day. Thinking that it was something good, you know, thinking that it was
the one thing I
like
about the powders, I used to drink it every judo session. But the one thing I like about the powders, it was always like in the bottle was way too sweet for me. So at least with the powders, you can turn it down, but then you're not really getting much of anything.
Right. Yeah. You really just, you know, for that flavor, basically. It tastes good. I mean, you know, you can't say it doesn't taste good. It does, you know.
It did. The one thing it did do was it felt like it cut through cotton mouth when I was working out. Like my mouth would get super dry during judo sessions. It did feel like it cut through that better than plain water.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, I for me, what does it now is, you know, I do the salts and just adding some lemon to it. I just squeeze a lemon into it, and to me, it really tastes good.
It does
I
taste
enjoy
good.
that. So, is what it is, though. Bottom line is we have to educate ourselves as best we can. And it's hard because there's information. You really have to sift through all the muck and all the false information and just find what works for you. So.
Agreed. It seems
Burpees
like
today?
Burpees. Seems like there's arguments for almost, you know, whichever side you're looking to be on, or, you know, whatever, whichever position you find yourself in, you can find supporting evidence for that position. You can also find supporting evidence in contradiction to that position. It seems like you're everything.
Well, see, yeah, you're absolutely right. And that's where the confirmation bias comes in, right? Because if you have a belief, if you start off with a position in mind and you start doing your research and reading stuff, when you see something that coincides, that's in line with what you already think, you'll say, okay, see, I knew I was right.
Nope.
And then if you read something that goes against what you already think, you're going to think, they're full of shit. They're lying.
Right.
They're telling the truth.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's why that therein lies the big problem. What is the truth? And, you know, everybody has their opinion, and who has the right opinion? You have to figure that out, and you have to figure out what works for you. But like I mentioned last night, what the masses are doing, what most of us doing, it's not the right thing. Because if it was, we wouldn't be in the world of shit that we're in.
Yeah.
So it's up to everybody to find out really what works for you, you know. But you know, if you look at the things on the grand scale and what most people are doing, if what we were doing was right, there wouldn't be all this sickness and everybody wouldn't be all jammed up the way they are. So you know, you got to figure it out for yourself. That's the bottom line.
Well, that's a great segment into the topic, which was perception being reality, and that makes me think about what's that word for people who always think they're sick but they're not actually sick?
Hypochondriac.
Right, but them thinking that they're sick so much actually ends up making them sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. They are sick.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of truth in that too. People, you can think yourself sick. The stress that you put yourself under, if you're constantly thinking, I have this disease or this is going to happen to me. Eventually, it does. You do manifest it over time. It's like Tim Effect says when I was with him, it's a mindset. Your mind could fix you, or your mind could really lead you down a dark road and get you in a lot of trouble. So you have to watch your thoughts because they turn into real things. You'd start manifesting things, whether it's sickness or just you get yourself into a situation. It's the mindset.
It's so crazy, man. You guys always hear me talking about this, and that's one of my cores for my way of living, right? My mind. In my mind starts everything. And this, I'm gonna tell you a story, man, that kind of makes this a true reality, right? There's this kid climbing a fence, man. He's climbing a tall fence, right? And the kid was having no trouble climbing this fence. In his mind, he already crossed that fence and got out the house to go play with his little homies. But then his mom, she sees him and say, "Hey, Ricky Bobby, you're gonna fall." So Ricky Bobby looks back and right away he believes his mom because that's mom, right? When you're a kid, your mom is everything, right? Whatever mom says is true. So Ricky Bobby looks at his mom, fucking hits the ground, man.
Yeah.
And that's to tell how powerful your mind is, and how powerful can other people influence you, or sometimes yourself can influence you and fuck around and fail, man. And that's something to say about, if you believe that you're always thinking about fucking I'm sick, I'm this, I'm that, you will become that. That's what I always tell you, my brothers, like I hear you sick sometimes, or like not sick but injured. And what do I tell you? The body will always heal. Because that
Yeah.
shit I believe in myself, man. And sometimes it's like, man, when is this gonna happen? But you must keep believing, and obviously you must be doing the things that you need to do to help it, right? Because it's not just only thinking, but I also taking action.
Right.
Shout out to Ricky Bobby, man. I'm sorry you fall.
It's a lucky thing he did, so we can have this conversation.
man. But it's crazy, man.
It is.
Yeah, man. What we tell ourselves is important. It's important. And you ever see somebody who has no business doing something, but they just believe in themselves so much that it's like, you go ahead, man. You keep on. I love to see that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
And
absolutely right. Yeah.
and you see him at the end doing big things, man. All these people that at least myself, man, there's people that I admire, right? And I see like how their beginnings. I always love to read about these things. I see their beginnings, and when they told their family, "Yo, mom, I want to be a one of the greatest football players," and mom maybe believed the brother probably like, "Man, you're crazy." Friends probably like, "Man, you ain't doing that shit," But in his mind, he already believed it, man. And you see him years later being one of the greatest athletes out there.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, see,
It's
that's
so
the thing.
important, man.
That's the thing. That's the real importance of even teaching kids, because kids, as they're coming up, how many times? No, don't do that. No, you can't do that. Stop doing that. You'll never do that. But that's a learned thing. When kids start off, they don't have the fear. They don't have that sense of it can't be done. They'll just try it. You know what I mean? But that negativity and that fear, that's instilled in them as they go along. Like Aldo's story just now. The kid was on the fence. I'm going to just, okay, there's a big fence. I can climb over that fence. But it wasn't until the mother said, "Hey, you're going to fall. You can't do that. Don't do that." And then it got into his head. He believed the mother. And then what happened, right? Things went south for the kid. So,
it's powerful.
You have to teach the kids from, affirm things. You can do it. You could do it.
Well, there's got to be a balance, and there lies the conundrum.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
because I know that. All right, my kid can probably climb that fence, but I also know my kid probably can fall too. I know both of those possibilities exist.
Yeah.
Me, my priority is the safety of my kid, or is my priority, the development? Because that's what we're taking away, development and protecting.
Right.
Sometimes we protect and we crush development. Sometimes we allow development and we endanger ourselves or a
Yeah.
child or whatever. So how do we
Yeah.
find that balance? I think that's so important.
That
Me, I think with
that's
my
a
kids, I was like a little liberal in terms of in some things, and in other things it was like no,
Right.
yeah.
like non-debatable. But other things it was I'm like, man, freaking you gotta try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to fail it.
That's a really good point. You have to find that balance because, your job is to protect your kids and your job is to also teach them and, let them grow at the same time. So yeah, there is you are sort of on a fence there, walking that tightrope. There's two sides to that story, so you have to be careful.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta take the hit, man. Sometimes it's about it. I understand what Gus is saying, but a lot of times is to take the hit. I'm gonna tell you a story. It just happened too, man. Because it's the love that you have for your kids. You wanna protect them so much, right? It's just some natural shit to do.
Yeah.
My kid is he was trying to lift me, right? And I mean he's a 9-year-old kid, man, but he's strong as hell, right? And in my mind, I'm like, don't. But that was my first reaction, right? Don't. You might get a hernia type shit, right? In my mind, but then I had to reframe my mind, and I'm like, nah, 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 nah. You strong, buddy. Let me see. What the boy did? He lift me.
There you go.
He lift me, right? But I had to. At first, my first reaction was that. So we really have to be careful
Well,
on what the limits are.
what would have this conversation been if rather than lifting you up, he did in fact get a hernia?
Yeah, yeah, it will be a different conversation. But that
Yeah.
that that's
Life.
something that's a creative mentality, man, because we're not born with these things, right? I didn't learn these things. Like my background from my growing up was so fears. That's my mom was full of fears, man. Everything. Aldo, don't do that. Aldo, don't go there. Aldo, don't do this, don't do that. It was always i'm 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 glad I was a rebel, man, and I was always like, nah, I'm going to do it. I was
Yeah.
glad I was always like, no, mom, I'm gonna do this. I don't care. I'm gonna do this. I might fail. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna try it. Because if it was for her, man, it would have. I would have done a lot of. I would not done a lot of things. I would have
Yeah.
skipped on even my career now, man. I would have skipped on that because man, you can never live off that. That's not a real career, bro. I'm having the best time of my life doing what I do. If
Right.
I would have
Right.
listened to my mom, like, nah, you cannot do that. That's trash. Be a lawyer or be whatever, be a regular career, and not to talk smack on anybody that does that, right? But just for my life, I don't want to do that. And I would tell her, mom, I want to be an artist. I want to live off the pictures I paint or draw. She'd be like, people don't make money off that. That's not a
Yeah.
real career, right? But that was her beliefs. She didn't know, man, and now not don't blame her or have any resentment to that. But I was like, fuck that, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
And
But
yo,
but that's
I got a beautiful life, man. I'm out here having fun.
amen. But that's
Yeah.
the dynamic of life
Yeah,
because two people can do the same thing and have a completely different result.
Right.
exactly.
You know,
Yep.
so I think it's critical to pursue whatever it is you want to pursue. But you know what I'm saying? The reality is the result is unknown. It's unpredictable. It
Yeah,
could be
it's unknown.
anything. It,
Yeah,
it, it can
Right.
be anything. What definitely won't happen is you'll never get what you don't do. Right? There's no equal sign if you're not adding anything or
Right.
subtracting something. Right? Like you need all the numbers to complete a math equation.
Yeah.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. But I think the biggest message in this, bro, is to stick to the fucking thing, man. You know what I mean? And stick to it and fucking hammer at this thing, man. Because if you go through these things, setbacks and shit, you know you're gonna have setbacks, and you might wanna be like, yeah, I'm done here. But if you stick to the next statement or the next rep, sometimes it's just one rep, right?
Every time.
It
Always.
exactly
Always.
every time. It changes the whole scene, man.
All you can ever do is one rep at a time.
That's it.
That's a great one. Well, let's try 25 reps at a time with these
Okay.
bars.
Ugh.
Let's go, man. That's the payout. Get fit and talk shit, baby. We're already talking shit for a minute. Oh, man.
It's funny how everything, even when we're performing a physical activity, the important thing is the mindset. It's not the body set. It's always the mind. Everything we do is the mindset. Everything is the mind. The mind controls the body. Even pain.
Yeah.
It gets to a point where something hurts so much that your brain just shuts it off and you don't feel it the same way. Does that mean it doesn't hurt as much? Or does it mean it hurts too much? Either way, it's with your mind. Your mind is setting that parameter.
Yeah.
No doubt, man.
Yeah, crazy.
That's like I've heard stories about people like they pass out when the pain is so much, right? Like you're going to a coma because your body is doing basically that is stop you from feeling the pain. So what your body's gonna shut you down, put you to sleep, so you don't have to go through it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's amazing.
It really is.
That's
The
why
mind, the
pain
mind's
hurts
powerful.
so much. You know, when you stub
The
your
mind
toe
is
on
very
the bed,
powerful.
Yep.
that hurts so much because it doesn't hurt enough.
Yeah.
That's like the max your body will tolerate before it shuts down.
That's brilliant.
I just did that the other day. I caught my pinky toe on the edge of the coffee table. Oh my God.
The most vulnerable toe in the world.
Oh man. I was making up curse words. I thought I knew every curse word in the world. I was making up new ones. Oh shit, that hurt.
Rocky Marciano, his generation is before mine. It's hard for me to appreciate it. Rocky Marciano.
Yeah, that was a great fighter, man.
Yeah, he was in the 50s. He was back in the 50s.
Yeah.
All right, so we're doing a ladder, right? How you guys want to do it? All in one or a split?
So my thought was, so like we said, 1 to 10 is 55 reps. So I was thinking we go 1 to 10 and then 10 back to 1 pumps. You know, however you want to. We'll do a set of 1 to 10, and then we could take a little, take a breather, and then go. Next set will be 10 to 1, and we'll just see how it goes. But
All
one
right.
set will be let's go 1 to 10. We'll start off and just go 1 pump up to 10 pumps, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Try that?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Oh man. Good old burpees, man.
Burpee season. And you know what? You know what I learned from this? Generally, when I go into burpees, I say to myself, probably some of the curse words Old Dog made up yesterday. But the way I'm going to look at it today is, you know what? The burpees are the bot. And I'm doing the smoking today.
There
And
you go. That's the mentality, my people. Hey, follow along. You on the other side of the screen, yo. Let's get
yeah,
this shit together, man. Burpees suck for me every time, but guess what? I fucking doing, man. Let's go.
every time.
All right, man. Who says we going? Okay, let's go. Ah, 9. Let's go. Ah, 10. Come on, bro. Ah,
Oh,
ah, shit. That was nice. Woo! Hey, I had to stop in the middle and double look at you guys, make sure I was doing it the right way. Shit. Sam, good morning. Woo!
All right, so I learned the mindset is strong enough to start, but once you start, reality sets in. And the bots will be the bots.
Hey, but check it out. But that's the setbacks, bro. That's the setbacks. Even in life, man, that's the setbacks. Okay, yeah. But then you come back to that mindset. Nah, fuck that. I'm strong. I'm gonna get these burpees. That's the setbacks, man. We must not let that shit get in our way like that. If they get in our way, you know what I'm saying? Get out, man. We must, man. That's the reality of life, man. I had a setback this week. I was talking to girls this week, man. I'm like, man, bro, I'm fucking down, man. My studio flooded. So
Oh
I'm
shit.
thinking I got these people coming, man. I'm thinking, man, but I figure it out, right? I found a place. I'm there for a couple of weeks. Bam. But at the beginning, man, the setback hit me hard, man. Like,
Yeah.
but hey, that's just life, man. Nobody's life is perfect. That's something we gotta understand, man. You know, nobody, man. Shit, everybody got shit. Some people got bigger problems than that.
Yeah.
Aldo, what do you do? You rent a studio or?
Yeah. So you got flooded, but hey, that's just that's part of life, man. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
that's who I can't help. Certain things we cannot help, man.
yeah,
Certain things it really comes to that, and it's crazy to think about it as that simple. Like there's things that you really can't do much, and we said this before, and then we should keep saying it over and over, man. So maybe somebody hearing right now that's how going through a bad thing, and can hear these things, and like there's things that you can't help. But to you, like me, why how am I gonna go about my day? Okay, I can't do nothing right now. What am I gonna do about my day today? Right?
yeah,
Don't take it out on people. That's the first thing, because I myself made that mistake this week. My son was talking to me. I'm trying to figure things out, calling the people to come and fix it, blah blah blah. And he's talking to me, and I'm like, buddy, hold on. For a minute, I lost my control, and that's
yeah.
just the human nature that we all have. And I'm like,
Happens.
God, yeah. And sometimes it's our wife. We like, man, stop talking to me right now. You know what I mean? But hey, I'm so glad that I've been hanging out with you guys, reading, learning these things that, whoa, hold up. I catch myself, I'm like, hold up, no, no. I call him on the side, buddy. Hey, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah,
I
clean
was
it
out
up.
of character. Yeah, yeah, I was out of character. I wish I didn't, I didn't talk to you like that. But look, I'm going through this, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yes,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
that's it, man. Make a
Well, that's
mistake,
one of the
clean it up.
basic principles when you read some of the Stoics, right? With Stoicism, that's one of the basic principles there is that
Yeah,
you can control you, like you can control how you reacted with Roman. You can't control that the flood. You're never going to stop the flood. You have no control over that. But the only thing you have control of is your mind and the way you react to it, right? And you said you lost your cool there for a minute, but then your mind, you step back and said, well, that's not right. I shouldn't have done that. So you can control what you do, how you react to the flood. You can't control that flood. So you have to you have to realize that I can't worry about the outside stuff because I have zero control over it. But I can control everything about how I react to it, So, and it's hard. It's hard
so
because
hard,
your
man.
emotions take over, and you have to constantly work on it. But the fact that you're aware of it, that you did that with Roman, you said, well, I shouldn't have done that, and you step back and you apologize to him. So that means that was the right thing to do, and you did it, and you realized, instead of compounding it and making worse, yelling at him and then yelling at him again, and because that's you taking out your frustrations on what's going on out there, the things that you
Yeah,
have no control over. You're letting it frustrate you, and then you're taking the frustration and the anger, and then you're pushing it off on somebody else. So
yeah,
you
man.
have to keep reminding yourself that, listen, I can't control that flood, but I can control what I'm going to do to get around it and do what still do what I have to do. So, but it is a constant battle. You have to keep telling yourself, I don't control that stuff. I control myself. I control my reaction to it and my attitude about it. So,
Yeah, man. And that shit happens sometimes on YouTube. You get these trolls talking shit, and
That doesn't
it
count.
gets you, huh?
That doesn't count.
Yo, no, but exactly. But bro, we all humans and have these fucking feelings, right? And if I, oh man, I'm like for a little bit. So, but that's another thing, to be mindful. Like, man, come on, dude. Where's your
It
video
is.
at?
It's not a crime. It's not a crime to roast an anonymous YouTube troll.
Exactly.
Go knock yourself out. Go
Yeah.
respond however you want.
Right.
That's where you should be taking out your frustrations on these
nameless, faceless trolls.
But
Man.
it's funny, right? A life event transpires, right? And our reaction to it controls the compounding of that life event. So how we respond directly, like we could just make things worse. Just because we can't accept what it is. And once it gets worse, because we couldn't accept the reality, we just making a reality even worse and even harder to accept what it is. Yeah. And then so on and so on and so on until we just blow it all up and come to a realization like, fuck it. But all you see is, Armageddon around you already.
Yeah.
So,
that's a great point.
Do you want, like what they say, cutting off your foot to save your toe, or cutting off your toe to, what is it? How does it go?
Yeah. You cut off the toe to save the leg.
Yeah, but they got it backwards. Cut off the leg to save the toe.
Yeah. I think you're right there. I think Derek's got it. I think Derek figured it out.
Fucking toe? Let fucking toe be down and shit.
I wonder how many toes it would have took before he figured it out.
Maybe the
Try
other
the
leg will save
other foot.
No, yeah, man, that's a big point, man. That's a great point because
Yeah, exactly.
you you do this and yeah, you're right. You make the fucking problem big, and then other problems come. You know what I mean? Like if I was to, let's say, my wife, I flip on her, then she's mad now. Then she don't want to give me a hand that I need a hand when, you know?
Right.
Right.
It's
Now you're mad
crazy.
Yep.
about that too.
Yeah.
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 She'll take it out on Roman, and then Roman takes it to wherever he goes, and so on and
Yeah.
so on. You know, so where's it stop?
Yeah. Exactly.
That's my understanding of karma right there. We're always planting seeds. So what seed are you planting? You're planting a seed
That's
about
it.
being mad about something. Now that seed's going to grow into somebody else planting another seed, and then pretty
Yep.
soon you get a whole field of weeds.
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah. So whose responsibility is it to whack the weeds? See,
You got
sometimes
to.
we can't just focus on planting seeds. Sometimes rather than developing and growing the garden, we just got to be in charge of cleaning it out and removing the waste from our life, you know,
Yep.
so that we have an open canvas to then put forth that positivity.
Yep.
Well, the trick is too to work on not letting it get too out of control.
Right.
You know, at some point you do have to whack some weeds, but the main thing that you should be doing is preventing those weeds from spreading.
Yeah.
And like Derek said, you're planting these seeds, but you want to be planting the right seeds.
Mm.
You know what I mean? You want to be planting the good seeds.
Sometimes you're
And it's hard. What's that?
You know, sometimes we focus on planting all of these seeds, but like you said, we're planting all of these bad seeds, and we just have a garden of what we trying to avoid in the first place. But since we're compounding the issues,
Right. And then you got to go backwards. You got to work backwards and do damage control. So it's better to work on not letting those weeds get out of control to begin with. And it's hard. It's not easy, but that's where most of your effort should go into not letting the weeds overtake that garden, you know?
Mhm.
So, but we're all a work in progress. We're all a work in progress. You got to keep working at it every day, every single day.
Yeah, I can say right now I'm in a place or in a time where things are difficult, much like what Aldo was discussing. And really, I know the only action I can take is not to fix things, right? Like any action I take it can't fix things. Things cannot be fixed. However, I can build things that are stronger than what's broken, you know, and hopefully it just washes it away.
Yeah.
You would hope.
And if it doesn't, that's out of my control anyway.
Yeah, you have to come to that reality that is out of your control. And most things in life are. Like I said, there's only one thing the only one thing in life that you really have 100% control over is your own mind, your own thoughts, your own attitudes.
Let's do set 2 and come back to that, Vinny.
All right,
Okay.
10.
I got a question about it.
All right. 10 down to 1, right?
10 down to 1.
Ah. Woo! Ah. 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 Man. Ah. Ah. Ah.
That was fire.
Was.
All right.
Shit.
Okay.
Ah.
I would propose that even we have less control even of ourselves than we think. I think that it seems to me there's quite a bit of support around the scary idea of no free will. And so it's an interesting thing to just consider that even though it appears that we have control of our minds and selves, that those are all just actually the effects of our conditions. So we're in the right conditions to be able to make better choices, move in the right direction or the direction that we want to. Again, you know, I hardly know my ass from a hole in ground, but it is an interesting thing to consider and try and look at life through that lens. Somehow, here's my own personal caveat in that whole thing. Somehow attitude is still one thing that maybe outside that maybe you can still have a good attitude, even if you have zero control of everything, except for that. Just a little thought experiment for you.
Well,
Well,
go ahead, Aldo.
go ahead, Gus.
I was going to say sometimes part of that. I agree with what you're saying. The attitude. We definitely, you know, you don't know what you don't know, right? So if somebody only knows something, the only way he can really control things is with what he knows. You know, like an alternative or a better solution that he's just oblivious to is not an option. So that's true.
Yep.
But sometimes also it's part of, you know, sometimes the only choice you have is a difficult choice.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, you need the attitude to be able to just say, I just got to do this difficult thing.
Most often.
You know? Go ahead, old dog.
Well, you know, I think that, you know, Derek alluded to like your circumstance, and that's going to affect. If I heard him right, Derek, correct me if I'm wrong, but so you're saying that you don't really have, because your attitude is going to be dictated by your circumstance at the time.
Well,
right?
Your ability for it to appear like you can like you have that option to choose the hard thing, even though it's the best thing, but it's the hardest thing to do.
Right. But that's
do that.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, you know, nobody can make your reaction to something and the way you feel about something, the emotions that come to light that you feel because of something, that's you. Nobody is going to dictate what that is. You know, like I've met people in my life that I'm amazed at them. I could think of a couple of people off the top of where no matter what was going on, you just look at the guy and you're like, this guy doesn't give a fuck about anything. You know, there could be like, you know, buildings could be falling down and he's just sitting there sipping his coffee and like, well, you know, what are you going to do about it? You know, and just it's how you feel about it. If you let everything, like I mentioned yesterday in the text, how there are just some people that are just waiting to be aggrieved about something. Like, you know the type of person who'd be like, I'll tell you what, if this guy says this to me, I'm going to do this and I'm going to say that. Like, it's like they're planning it out in their head, like things that haven't even happened yet. It's like, I can't wait. I hope he says this to me because then I'm really going to give it to him and I'm going to tell him this and I'm going to tell him that. And we were talking about the guy with the decorations on his house. You know, when I saw that, I'm like, this it's so fucking stupid. Well, I would never do that on my house. You know what I mean? Like, it looks ridiculous and this and that, but and the neighbors are up in arms. Some of the neighbors, oh, he shouldn't be doing that, and it's this, that, and the other thing. Yeah, you have your attitude about it, but are you going to let that ruin your day? Don't look at his house. Cross the street. Halloween's going to be done in a couple of weeks. You know,
put context to it. Tell them what the story was.
Yeah, the guy decorated his house supposedly for Halloween, and it looked like it was Jesus Christ that without a head on or something. You know, it was like a real.
It was a beheaded Jesus with the depiction of Satan himself actually holding Jesus's head, and the question was, is that okay? Like, is like, how do you? Because everybody was complaining and stuff about it, but
right?
Are you within your right to complain about that?
You got to frame how do you mean? Is it okay? Is it legal? Yes. Is it blasphemous from a Christian perspective? Yes. So is it okay from that perspective? No. So like,
right.
What do you mean?
Well,
is it in bad taste? Maybe. Is it provoking reaction by people?
That could have been the goal.
Right.
It might be that whole decoration might be the antithesis of what he actually believes. But you know what? The only way to have the discussion he wanted to have was to display that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like anybody should go do whatever they want. And if I don't want to appreciate that, then I'm going to avoid it. And we're all happy.
Yeah. And express your opinion about your distaste for it.
Yeah,
that's not
right. But
necessary either. See, everybody has this deep-seated desire to express their opinion, and I feel like you should, but you don't always have to. Sometimes you just have to accept someone else's and shut up. Not everything is a contest.
Exactly. And that's my point about this guy. Like, the neighbors, I get it. Again, I find it distasteful. I'm not going to go knock on his door and, why did you put that up? I don't believe in what, okay, whatever. That's your taste. I don't have to look at it. You know what I mean? What's the big deal? I'm not going to let that ruin my day.
What about the kids that got to walk by to go to school? They have to walk that way to go to school.
Yeah, okay. So you have a discussion with your kids and just say, like, listen, this is this guy's opinion, and explain it to the kids, and he has a right to do it. And this is what it is, and this is the way I feel about it.
Skip his house when you trick or treating. Yeah,
but
you know what? Everybody wants to be the judge, jury, and executioner, but we all bypass the judgment of ourselves first.
Right.
Exactly. That's one of the biggest points I was trying to make. Like, worry about you. If you're a mess and you're going to go out and change the world and you're going to, straighten this guy out and work, just if everybody worked on themselves and worked on you, making yourself a better person and doing the best you can, everything else is going to pan out. Don't worry about what the guy down the street, as long as it's not affecting you in a physical way, harming you, like Derek said, he's not breaking any laws. Just let it be. Work on being the best person you can be, and everything else will pan out.
Maybe that's his best attempt at working on himself through whatever stuff he's got going on. Maybe that's what he's doing.
Yeah, if that's what he enjoys doing, and he's expressing himself, and it's his house, You know, if he went over, you know, if I woke up in the morning and this guy was on my front lawn putting those decorations on my house, then I'd have a problem with it.
That would be a different story in the newspaper.
Then we have a trespassing situation. But if he's on his own front lawn, just let him be. Just let him be.
Well, here's a mild real life equivalent. You guys have seen my burpees in the back of my house with my crazy ass greenhouse. People have an opinion about the color of my house, and they tell me about it. I don't give a fuck. I love the color of my house. It's ridiculous green. Every time I pull up to my house, I'm like, this is as close to the hills as I'm getting today.
I'm clipping that one, man. That's the best thing I've heard. All right, you guys.
That's so true. One more.
One back to 10.
The other thought is also some people do things like that just to be controversial. Some get such a high from seeing people get upset. It's so true.
That's true.
Right.
All right, one up to 1. 1 up to 10, I mean. Hey. Okay, one more.
Correction's way worse.
Wow.
You said going up is worse?
Yeah.
Like twice as bad.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
Crazy.
Derek said, I don't give a fuck.
That was such a great delivery.
Check out this. What Gio said right here. Shout out to Gio, man. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
That's right,
That
man.
shit is so real, man. Me as an artist, I experienced these things more than once, man. I created controversial shit on my art, and I have people telling me about it, right? Gallery shows that I've been into. But I remember I was telling you guys a specific one, man, that I had a Native American committing suicide with a bottle, right? And this it's a little controversial, man, but I didn't see it in the same way, and that's true, man, because I didn't see it in that way. I was seeing it more of a street art type piece, you know.
But Aldo, how did you come up with that? How did you come up with that?
Well, just from how, like, you know, a lot of alcohol in that community, right?
It's very big. Yeah, alcoholism is very big with the Native Americans.
Really?
Yeah, and it destroys communities. I mean, but like we said, man, at the end of the day, it's you, bro. You can say that. Yeah, okay, yeah, it might have been instilled in our community, you know, this and that, but at the end of the day, man, it's us. And to come back to what Osiris said about you really don't have no control, I agree with that. You don't, but just being aware of, then you can change your attitude. Because you are right, man. You have no
That's
control
good, man.
because you have these things happen to you, and yeah, you feel sad and mad and frustrated, and you really can't control that. That's how you feel, but how you guide that, right? How you guide it and how you channel it. Like it can, like Gus said, am I gonna channel on this side where it's gonna give me more problems, or am I gonna channel on this side that it might help me a little bit? So
Right.
I
Right.
agree with that's true, Osiris. You have no control really. So it's I think we should rephrase it. But
But I
if you
think
have the say what?
you I was just gonna say I think you touched on a key, man, that
Yeah.
just blew up in my mind. Just awareness. As soon as you put awareness on something, you're like shining a little light on it, and observation can change shit.
Yeah, because then you know, like
So
okay, like what I said with my son, I was irritated and I'm like, oh no, that's wrong. Right. And then I'm went and trying to fix things. But yeah, you're right. There's no control. That's just like humans are built like that, man. We just made like that. Like Paul said right here a little bit ago. He said that we all these things were taught, we through the times, through TV or parents or school, whatever. You're right, but if you are at least have the awareness of like, shit, this is not right, and that comes through learning through time, to listening to these people, to reading these things, to hearing talk guys like us talking here on our experiences. You know what I mean? So yeah, you're right though, Cyrus. You're right. There's not really control, but to be aware and okay, take direction. Am I gonna go this way or am I gonna go that way? What am I gonna do here? Like Gus said, or I'm just gonna be here and let the shit fall. Sometimes that's the best thing, Sometimes the best thing to do is to do nothing. Sometimes it's that
Mm.
answer. Sometimes it's that
That was,
answer.
that was the best advice I got one day.
Man. Yeah. That's a great advice.
Yeah, that's the best advice I got one day.
Sometimes it's just that, man. It's hard to accept it sometimes, But hey, shit. I had a toxic girlfriend, man. You know what's my best thing that I done then? I fucking didn't talk to her no more. That's like I don't
nothing.
wanna. She will pass by the halls and Aldo, I fucking keep walking. I ain't doing nothing. I'm just, shit, who are you? I don't know you, right? I didn't do nothing, man. I never talked to her again, and guess what? I saved me some problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's that, man. Crazy.
Hey, so Aldo, with this particular tattoo you're talking about,
It was a painting. It's a painting.
oh, a paint. Oh, okay,
Mhm.
okay.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. I thought it was a tattoo that you did on somebody.
Mhm.
So who gave you shit about it? Was it a
Just
Native
one of
American
the.
or was it?
No, it was just a person that went to the gallery to see it. It was a show, a gallery show, like an art show. Yeah, I just didn't, like, oh, that's fucked up. I'm like, well, fuck, that's true. You
Yeah,
do
it is
Yeah,
commit
fucked.
suicide, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
However you want to see it, bro, that's true. And yeah, okay, well, that's my painting, but that's on this person, man, to say like, shit, I'm not gonna drink because I already seen my ancestors go through this shit, right? Like I seen tweakers, man, destroy their life, and at sometime in my life, I was doing that, and I was like, fuck, I ain't doing that. I'm stopping today. I don't want to
yeah,
be with
yeah,
no teeth. I don't want to look all raggedy and shit. I'm stopping today,
Yeah.
yeah,
right?
yeah,
At the end of the day, man, and it's the attitude because the mind might have been telling me something different, Oh, feels good, man. It feels good to stay up for so long, blah blah blah, you know. But
yeah,
In the
the
yeah,
moment.
awareness, man, yeah, like me seeing this, I'm done.
yeah. Hmm.
You just did a self-portrait, I think, Aldo. Only a different person using a
Yeah,
different means
exactly.
of self-destruction.
You're right. You're right. Maybe that came
That,
from that, right? Maybe that
yeah,
came
that's a
from
good point.
yeah, it came from a subconscious state in my mind. You're right.
That's a really good point, Derek. That is a
Mhm.
good point.
Mhm.
Yeah, could have
Wow,
been.
I've seen myself there.
Man,
Yeah,
I'm telling
deep.
you.
I think we all have. I think we all have to some degree.
Yeah.
And if you haven't, you will.
Yeah.
Man.
Some
Open
of
your
the
Any
eyes
you
wide.
haven't?
experiences are universal. Most
Yeah.
actually, just
I'm not-
different letters to form the same word.
Right.
But check it out, bro. Like, if you are not, listen to this right here in this circle, man. And maybe you can, if you go through it, say like, hell no, I remember this crazy dude talking on that famous show, Get Fit and Talk Shit. You know what I mean? I heard what happened to him, so they fucking, it helped you a little bit, man. That's one of my goals with my shit, man. Maybe I can, if I hook it up with for somebody, one person, bro, I'm good. I'm already, accomplished.
Well, then it's accomplished because every participation I have in the show, I come out of it. I know
Same.
later on today, I know at some point in my day, my wife is gonna come up to me, tell me something, and I'm gonna think about Osiris and say, I don't give a fuck.
No doubt. No.
I don't think that was the exact message I meant.
It's subjective. It's
Man.
subjective.
No doubt, man. I feel the same way, man. Every time I do this show, man, I come out, my week is better. Thank you, guys.
All right, 10 down.
Let's go.
10 down.
10 down.
Closing. 10 down. Yeah, that's easier. It's crazy. Ah, ah, ah,
Oh boy.
Sneaky.
man.
All right, take it
Man.
back. That one's worse.
Ah,
Nah, going up is far worse.
ah.
Oh boy.
Read that, Aldo.
There's always value in speaking up, but there's also value in being silent and knowing the time and place to enact either, and to do so with tact. With fact, is that what she meant?
Tact.
Packed.
Tact,
Fact.
not in rebellion for the sake of it. What's that mean? With tactical? What does it mean?
Like
Uh,
appropriate.
tact is like, yeah, I don't know if you could say good taste or, I think that's
taste.
more like appropriate.
Firm with class
I see.
That's good.
would be
Yeah.
tact. Think about
I
a tact. You know how it just
I
sticks
see.
in the wall?
I see. Yo, I can't be included in there, bro. I'm wild. I'll be truly speaking my mind, man. Sometimes I hurt people, but like Osiris said, I don't give a fuck. You see? Sometimes I do, man, and I know it. And I know it, man. But I'm gonna speak the truth, man. At least what I see in my world, right? From my experience, man. I'm never gonna speak something I haven't lived or experienced myself. So
I think it's important to curb your opinion and important to speak the facts. You know what I'm saying? Like
I'm good.
your opinion.
I'm good with
doesn't have to-
opinion. I like opinions, but state it that it's an opinion. It's not, don't. I get irritated when people say an opinion like it's a fact. That drives me crazy. If you just say, in my opinion, blah blah blah, cool.
Carte blanche.
Yeah.
Carte blanche.
Yeah. No, 100%, man. Shout out to Frankie, though. Thank you so much, Frankie.
Yeah, thank you.
I appreciate everyone that's in here, man. It's always so valuable to learn, man. That's the community right there, man. It's beautiful.
Agreed.
I tell you this little 1 to 10, 10 to 1 is sneaky.
Man.
And we went pretty light.
Yeah.
Gave ourselves adequate rest and all of that. We were talking a lot of shit.
Yeah, that was that show today.
But we still got 210 push-ups in. You
Oh,
know?
dang.
Yeah. Yep.
It's something.
So think about it. If we did, we did 210, right? At 220, right? It was 220?
220.
220?
220, yeah.
Wait, no, wait. Yeah, 10 down.
Yeah.
55.
Less than 1 per minute.
So if we were to do a 20 down, would you find that less difficult doing 20 down? Because then that would be 210 right there. So it's how you fashion the reps.
It's 100%.
I would find it less
you would find the 20 down a little easier, basically, right?
Yep. And I would do it faster, and it'd still be easier.
Yep.
Yeah. But basically the same amount of reps. It's just the way you fashion it. So
even bigger sets. You got 10 sets that are bigger.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, mostly every set is bigger than 1 to 10 because the biggest set you're doing is 10. By the time you're doing 10 on 20 down, you're halfway done.
You're way past halfway.
Yeah.
And it's still easier. So what's the big deal with these burpees, man? I think burpees need to be investigated. It's a crime.
That's why the max and match, man. I think that's why the max and match is awesome, is because if you're hitting a max with strength and then you go into a cardio, the system's just like on shock mode.
Yeah, and that's not an opinion.
Hey, that's a fact because
that's a personal fact.
Yo, I've been close to passing the fuck out on one of those challenges.
Yeah. And you know what your body said? It said what O said. That's what
I don't give a.
O just depicted your body when you're doing max and match.
Man, that's true, man. One time I was like, oh man, hold up, I gotta take a breather here. Like, shit, man. But
yeah, we gotta do another one. Oh.
Yeah. I want to revisit bench again.
Okay.
Then you did 165, yeah?
What's that?
Best.
For your bench, you did 165, right?
155 I got up to.
No, Vin.
Oh, Vin? Vin did 185.
On which one are you talking about? Do you remember?
The bench max and match.
100 reps of bench matched with burpees. Your max set. You did it outside.
No, right. When I was outside, I think that was 175.
Okay.
I think it was 175.
Yeah.
How was that?
If I remember correctly.
It was. You still
that hurt.
have big
That hurt.
It was a good workout, but it wasn't like, that was still like maintenance mode for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
65 for me was all gains.
I actually hit the bench the other day at the gym. I did. What did I do with it? I did the bench. Fuck, I don't even remember. Maybe squats or something. I got off the bench and did squats. But I worked my way up. I did 100 reps, but I started at 135. Maybe did 10 or 15, 20 reps, and then I went to 55, 65, 75. And I worked my way up that way. And that felt pretty good. Because I don't bench often at all. You know what I mean? Like I used to. But yeah, I'm trying to do that, maybe once a week, just get a few reps in on the bench now. But it felt pretty good. But that's definitely, that whole supersetting thing, rather than doing like one set, say on the bench and then resting, you go into any other exercise, just superset any two exercises. I think it's much more time efficient, and I think there's much more benefit to be had out of it. You know, I just get too antsy, you know, doing one set of one exercise and then waiting around to do like another set.
Me too.
I like that feeling of like, all right, I did the bench, now I'll jump down and do some squats, you know, body weight squats or whatever.
I think I would have loved being a power lifter in a past life, because I don't mind that rest period. I could see the appeal of like, let me lift this really heavy thing one time, and then I'm gonna take a 10-minute break.
And then a 10-minute break, and then come back and try and do it again. Yeah.
But the problem for me is within those 10 minutes, I get distracted and I start losing my interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, or my body sets too much, and now I'm not recovered. I'm fatigued. And
That's my lazy side. My lazy side's, take a 10-minute break. It's fine. We're gonna lift something heavy again in a minute.
I like lifting heavy. I like the max and match a lot, man. I like
too.
Going for a heavy thing, and then that recovery is a calisthenic or cardiovascular movement that you actually you recover from the lift.
Right.
What doesn't recover is your heart rate.
Right.
Is your heart rate? Yeah.
Stays up.
Yeah.
And I sweat profusely with that combination, and I think it's led to tremendous gains, more than any other workout or combination I've been doing.
But Gus, and your gains are twofold, right? Because it's strength and endurance doing it that way.
In theory. Because I'm not lifting the heaviest weight I could be lifting. But I think I'm getting more, rather than more the strength and maximum effort, I think you're developing strength in more of a maintenance effort. Like your baseline goes up. Like Eric always says, your floor goes up. Something like that. You raise the floor. I think you raise the floor of your strength rather than raising your ceiling of your strength. If that makes sense.
Either way, you're getting a really good benefit. You know,
right?
You know, there's a lot to be said for it. I you know, like I said, I'm a big fan of just like keeping moving, like doing the supersets. You know, rather than the whole powerlifting theory.
Well,
you know, lift once.
Here's my neurotic side, Ben. I say that about being a power lifter, but then my neurotic side is like, well, you might as well do some stuff while you're waiting.
Yeah. What do I do with my hands? What do I do with my hands? And the max match. If you're not matching it, well, I guess you can go for 1 rep max and doing 1 rep of a calisthenic movement. I think that'll take too long.
Yeah. No, I think that's where I'm still working on this funny formula where we've said like your 75%, where you can hit 15 on your first set. I think that's kind of where the magic starting is. But I found
what happens when you're maintaining 15? Now, you're not getting the same effect.
Yeah, but if it's dropping, it's just small. But here's the thing. So on your first set, there's going to be. I'm going to try this next time.
A peak.
I don't know. It'll probably be. I can't decide if it's going to be somewhere between 10 and 15. But if you go over it by a certain amount, you add a lot of weight. If you go over it by a little bit, you add a little bit more weight. If you go under, you take a little off. If you go way under,
so that you find your 15.
Yeah, exactly. And it can change day to day.
It will. It'll change rep to rep.
Yeah. But it'll be your daily. In my mind, it's your starter. Like, here's where you're at today. Adjust for the rest of the workout for today.
I like it. Let's try it.
Yeah.
Especially with bench, because that's going to make. Now you're staying in a hypertrophic state.
Yep.
With cardiovascular increased heart rate. Like what more do you want? You're definitely increasing your hypertrophy and you're increasing your cardiovascular endurance. Like what else you want? You want calves too?
Uh,
All right. Good stuff, guys. I thank
Yep.
you always for coming
Always.
through. Want to send us out, Aldo?
Hey, man. Thank you so much again, my people, man. My brothers here, Gusto, Osiris, Aldo. Where's Day at? He didn't show up today.
It's a rainy
Hey, man.
day. Hey,
Shout out to
Aldo,
all
where
the
we
brothers,
get these
man.
at?
Hey, Aldo, tell the people, man, where you get those at?
Where we get these at?
what?
These shirts.
Oh, those dope shirts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dope shirts. You got
Oh,
one
yeah,
calf, Paul. You got one calf.
Olddogfit.com. You hit me
There
up
you
on
go.
olddogfit.com.
Hey, man. Yo, no, for real, though, man. Thank you, my people. And please do not forget, man, that today's another day and you're breathing, baby. Thinking, walking, we're fucking winning, man. This is the only show where you get fit and talk shit, man. Shout out, my people.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks, y'all.
brothers.
Thank you,
Yeah.
man. Much love.
Stay well, guys.
Yes, sir.